Am I audible now? अभी तक मैं चुप ही था, अभी बोल रहा हूँ. Am I audible? Okay, let us start the last classification that is left, which is polar uncharged amino acids. We will begin our lecture with the amino acid that is cysteine. This is the second sulfur containing amino acid, other than which amino acid consisted cysteine, that was methionine. So the structure of cysteine is see this cysteine, it combines with another cysteine amino acid to form cysteine. It basically dimerizes to form cysteine. And what happens is this hydrogen and the other hydrogen is removed and they form disulfide bond like this. Is it clear? So the disulfide bond is formed like this. It is formed by oxidation of two cysteine residues. It is formed by oxidation of two cysteine residues. And this amino acid, it is significantly involved in the tertiary structure of proteins. It is involved in tertiary structure of proteins. क्योंकि वहां हम देखेंगे अपार्ट फ्रॉम द कोवेलेंट बॉन्डिंग बहुत सारी नॉन कोवेलेंट बॉन्डिंग्स इन्वॉल्व होंगी और उसमें से एक होगी डाइसल्फाइड बॉन्डिंग और वो बॉन्डिंग कौन सा अमाइनो एसिड करवाता है सिस्टिक. Is it clear? Another thing is reducing environment. It can lead to bond breakage, or we can say the disulfide bond breaks in the reducing environment. And in the oxidizing environment, the formation of disulfide bonds takes place. Like, and this phenomenon is generally exploited in case of like the first one, reducing environment. It is like exploited during hair straightening and rebonding, and the oxidizing environment is generally provided by shampoos and conditioners. As in hairs, keratin protein is present. Is it fine? And there is a strange disease that is Rapunzel syndrome. Like, this is out of context. Still, I'm telling there is a fatal disease that is Rapunzel syndrome. If we generally like intake too much of hairs, it may be fatal as they like deposit in our intestines. Rapunzel syndrome. Next amino acid we have is serine. Rapunzel syndrome. लाइक ये कार्टून कैरेक्टर्स था कॉमिक्स में कि लाइक वो प्रिंसेस अपने हेयर्स कासल से नीचे फेंक देती थी ताकि उसका प्रिंस उन हेयर्स पे चढ़ के उसको प्रोटेक्ट कर पाए। ऐसी कोई कार्टून कैरेक्टर था ना, तो ये उस पर बेस्ड है। Serine, this particular amino acid, it is involved in metabolism and biosynthesis of purines and pyrimidines. Biosynthesis of purines and pyrimidines. Purines are adenine and guanine, and the rest that are left are pyrimidines, that are cytosine, thymine, and uracil. ये क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था लास्ट टाइम इसी टाइम गैट में। Another thing about serine is like there are three amino acid residues that are phosphorylated by kinases जो सेल सिग्नलिंग में काइनेजेस इन्वॉल्व होते हैं, जो फोस्फोराइलेशन कोज करते हैं, मींस फोस्फेट एडिशन, फोस्फेट बॉन्ड की एडिशन और रिमूवल कराते हैं। वो तीन अमाइनो एसिड से लिंक होते हैं, दैट आर सीरीन। तो फर्स्ट वन इज सीरीन, अनदर वन इज थ्रियोनिन, एंड द थर्ड वन इज टायरोसिन। And in cell signaling, we study tyrosine kinase. तो ये तो सबको याद रह जाता है। Still, these two are the other amino acids that are left, जिनकी phosphorylation होती है by kinases. Is it fine? Okay. There are three amino acids that are phosphorylated by kinases. Kinases are one kind of enzymes that are involved in addition of phosphate bond. And वो तीन अमाइनो एसिड्स हैं, serine, threonine, and tyrosine. These are generally involved in cell signaling pathways. Next amino acid that we have is threonine. See, this is the amino acid that consists of two chiral centers. It consists of two chiral centers. And this amino acid, it is susceptible to post-transcriptional modifications. Not post-transcription, basically post-translational. Next amino acid we have is asparagine. This was the first amino acid that was discovered. Post-translational modification, PTM. And this is the first amino acid that is found in the alpha helices. It is commonest type of secondary structure of protein. And the last amino acid we have is glutamine. It is involved in acid-base balance in kidneys. And these are actively produced by muscle mass and generally consumed by intestinal cells. It was not PTH, it was post-translational modification. ट्रांसलेशन क्या होता है ये हम सब मोल पायो में पढ़ेंगे पर्टिकुलरली, जो कि हम सेंट्रल डोगमा का लास्ट लास्ट स्टेप होता है। जो प्रोटीन बन गया उसकी मॉडिफिकेशंस करते हैं ताकि उसका ट्रांसपोर्ट किया जा सके। Is it clear? Amino acids part is completed. Now I'm starting structure of proteins. Structure starts with the peptide bond. And generally the peptide bond, it is trans in nature because I'm drawing the structures first. It's like energetic word. When we plot the structures with energy of trans and cis peptides, then the trans structure is generally with least energy is contributed due to less steric hindrance. This is trans structure. See, as you have seen, this R form, it consists of various side chains. It can be hydrophobic, it can be hydrophilic in nature, and the chain length can be large and as small as glycine molecule. अगर side chain की length small है, तो it makes particularly the amino acids more flexible. Means वो twist and turns ज़्यादा कर सकते हैं. क्यों कर सकते हैं? क्योंकि वो sterically, yes, I'm like describing this trans point only. नहीं, ये जो OH था, C डबल बॉन्ड O था इधर, वो बॉन्ड ट्रांसफर हुआ है रेजोनेंस के थ्रू इधर. यहाँ पर वो अपने इलेक्ट्रॉन पेयर शो करते हैं. पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड तो ये था ना, C डबल बॉन्ड OH. So this is the resonating structure here. This is trans, while in case of cis molecule, this is cis structure. Okay, I'm explaining it again. See, these two structures, and they are plotted against energy. I'm saying the R side chains, they are at least energy. But in case of this structure, these R groups are interfering with each other and there is kind of repulsion. They are trying to repel each other. And because of this, they exist at a high energy level. तो जो लो एनर्जी पर होता है बायोलॉजिकली हम उसको ही फेवर करते हैं. तो बायोलॉजिकली ट्रांस स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ पेप्टाइड इज जनरली फेवर्ड. ओके, ये समझ आया कि ये डबल बॉन्ड कैसे आया. पहले ये बताओ, का समझ आया था सी डबल बॉन्ड ओ एन एच. तो जब हमने पहले रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाए थे, तो उसमें से एक रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर ये था. तो सिस और ट्रांस अभी हम इनकी बात डिस्कस ना करके सिस और ट्रांस जनरली क्या होते हैं. ट्रांस में यहाँ बना रहा हूँ, कोई भी मॉलिक्यूल लाइक ट्रांस कब होगा. कंसीडर OH2 भी बल्कि ग्रुप, और ट्रांसफॉर्म में हम एनर्जी और स्टेरिक हिंड्रेंस अपोजिट पोल्स पर रखते हैं ताकि वो कम एनर्जी पर हो. तो ये ट्रांस, इधर अगर मैं डिस्क्राइब करूं, तो जो भी बल्कि ग्रुप्स हैं वो एक साथ ही हो गए ये सिस फॉर्म में. ड्यू टू स्टेरिक हिंड्रेंस वो रिपेल करेंगे एक दूसरे को, और रिपेल करेंगे तो वो हाई एनर्जी लेवल पर प्रेजेंट होंगे. तो सिमिलरली केस यहाँ पर भी यही है. जो आर ग्रुप है इन केस ऑफ ट्रांसफॉर्म, दे आर प्लेस्ड अपोजिट टू ईच अदर so that steric hindrance will be least. While in case of cis form, the side chains lying in the similar plane and due to steric hindrance, they are present at high energy level. और एनर्जी स्टेट पर है उसको फेवर किया जाता है. तो पेप्टाइड इज जनरली ट्रांस इन नेचर. Now is it clear? Okay. Now we are looking into the Ramachandran angles and Ramachandran plot. तो रामाचंद्रन एंगल्स मैंने पहले भी बताए थे, क्या थे रामाचंद्रन एंगल्स? यस, फाई एंड साई। तो अगर मैं बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर बनाऊं, तो ये हमारा बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर। Let's see glycine molecule. This here is the functional group, and the carbon lying next to the functional group is known as alpha carbon. It is known as alpha carbon, and this functional group, this will be involved in the formation of peptide bond. तो यहाँ अल्फा कौन सा हुआ, जिससे R वाला अटैच्ड है, वो सब क्या हुए, अल्फा कार्बन। तो जो रोटेशन सी एल के अराउंड होती है उसको हम बोलते हैं साई। जहां सी की ज्यादा आ रही है वो कौन सा एंगल हुआ, साई। एंड रोटेशंस परमिटेड होती है उनको हम बोलते हैं फाई। दैट फाइन। तो ये सब में ऐसे ही होगी, इधर भी होगी, इधर भी होगी। बट am I audible now? Am I audible now? Okay. I said this is the basic structure. The carbon that is attached next to the functional group is the alpha carbon. And I'm taking here example of green, but let us put into R group here only. So the carbon atom that is attaching to the R group is the alpha carbon. So these are the alpha carbons, and the carbon that is will be involved in the formation of peptide bond, and the rotation that is permitted with C alpha and C is generally the psi angle, and while the rotation that is permitted with C and N is with the phi angle. These two are the Ramachandran angles. Theoretically, or we can say in principle, these two angles, phi and psi, can have any values from minus 180 degree to plus 180 degree. But many of these values are prohibited by steric interference. Many values are inhibited by what? Steric interferences. And वो steric interference किन की वजह से हो रही है? These R groups. And the permitted values of phi and psi, these are generally plotted on a graph, or we can say the 2D map, and that map or graph is known as Ramachandran plot. The permitted values are presented on a graph or 2D plane that is known as Ramachandran plot. On y-axis, we have psi. And on x-axis, we have phi. Just क्या याद रखना है कि कहाँ पर कौन से स्ट्रक्चर को परमिट किया जा रहा है. What these B alpha represent? B is beta plated sheet जो secondary structure इनकी phi और psi की values like इस quadrant में lie करेंगे. कौन सा structure form करेंगे? Beta plated sheets. हाँ, और कौन से हैं? Right handed alpha helices and this one is for left handed alpha helices. Is it fine? सी ये याद रखनी है ये वैल्यूज तीनों अभी बीएससी लेवल पर. ओके. आई वाज सेइंग the phi and psi values can have any values from plus 180 to minus 180, like that was in principle and theoretical, but due to the steric interferences of the side chains, only few values are permitted in of amino acids in a protein, and those few values, these are represented by Ramachandran plot. And in this plot, we represent psi on the y-axis and phi on the x-axis. Here, beta plated sheets, they have values like around plus 180 and here minus 180. Plus 180 nearby for psi and minus 180 for phi. Saying alpha helices, these are right-handed and these are left-handed alpha helices. Is it clear? Okay. Now, let us see the structure of proteins. The first one is primary structure. So, primary structure It is the structure of polypeptides in its amino acid sequences only, and those amino acid residues, they are linked by peptide bond. And this primary structure, it determines the higher levels of structural organization. Means if I write alanine, glycine, proline, tyrosine, what structure is this? The linear structure here represents the primary structure. The important thing is, like during the denaturation process, it is considered that primary structure, it is not affected. Primary structure is not affected by denaturation. This is important question. What is denaturation? Particularly, denaturation is done by various agents. They can be either chemical agents or the physical agents. So in denaturation, basically the tertiary or the secondary or the quaternary structure is lost of the proteins, but the covalent and the peptide bonds remains intact. So it is like there, the primary structure is remained unaffected during the denaturation. Next, we have a secondary structure. In secondary structure, we see alpha helices, beta pleats, and the turns. The first one is alpha helix. Alpha helix and beta pleat से one question आया है. Generally, alpha helix is rigid, rod-like structure. It is rigid, rod-like structure, and it is formed when a polypeptide chain twists into helical conformation. It can either be right-handed, that is when it rotates clockwise, or it can be left-handed when it rotates anti-clockwise. And the phi and psi angles can be determined from Ramachandran plot. This is important. There are 3.6 amino acid residues per turn of the helix. Okay. I'm still explaining the secondary structure. Secondary structure are of three types, basically alpha helix, beta pleated, and the third one is turns. So I'm going with alpha helix. Alpha helix is rigid, rod-like structure, and it is generally formed when the polypeptide chain twist into helical conformation. Means जो polypeptide chain थी वो कुछ ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर फॉर्म करे, एंड एक टर्न ऑफ हेलिक्स में 3.6 अमाइनो एसिड्स होते हैं. तो ऐसे 3.6 कैसे होंगे? 3 अमाइनो एसिड्स इन बिटवीन एंड 0.3 इस साइड एंड 0.3 इस. This is important. This was asked many times. And the pitch of helix is 0.54 nanometer. These two things you have to remember. Another important thing is another important thing is like when there are hydrogen bonds present, uh, Shivangi asked, how can we determine the handedness of the helix? It is generally like I said clockwise and the anti-clockwise direction. If it is in the clockwise direction, it is right-handed. If it is in the anti-clockwise direction, it is left-handed. And better would be if we consider phi and psi angles, because Ramachandran plot का फायदा और इम्पोर्टेंस वही है कि वो हमें बताएगा कि ये जो तीनों सेकेंडरी स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं ये कहाँ कहाँ कौन कौन सी रोटेशंस पर प्रेजेंट है. And the hydrogen bonds that are present or the side chains that form the hydrogen bonds, they lie parallel to the helix axis. अगर ये helix axis है तो hydrogen bond somehow ऐसे present. This is also the distinguishing point between the alpha helixes and the beta plates, because in beta plated structures the hydrogen bonds lie perpendicular instead of parallel. In beta plated sheets, the hydrogen bonds lie perpendicular to the helix axis. Next we have is beta plated sheet. In this structure, basically, we have two or more polypeptide chain segments lying up side by side. Means if this is one polypeptide chain, this can be another polypeptide chains, and they are forming bonds like this. And each individual segment, it is known as beta strand. It is known as beta strand. And the hydrogen bonds that are formed, they lie perpendicular to the helical axis. See, this if this is the strand or the one beta strand, this strand can be parallel to this or it can be anti-parallel to this. It can be parallel or can be anti-parallel. And generally, anti-parallel strands these are more stable because they form collinear hydrogen bonds. Next we have is turns. A turn is a secondary structure that is formed by proteins when polypeptide chain reverses its overall direction is formed when polypeptide chain reverses its direction and they are classified on the number of residues that they consist of. For example, in alpha turn, the end residues will be 4. I'm drawing the structure. In case of alpha turn, see this is the polypeptide chain in this direction, but it reverses its direction like this. So the number of residues, amino acid residues in a particular turn, if there are 4 amino acid residues, then this is alpha turn. If there are 3 amino acid residues, then it is beta turn. And if it has single, no, if it has 2 amino acid residues, then it is gamma turn. And there is another structure that are known as loops. These are generally the turns, but they consist of amino acid residues that are from 6 to 16 in length. And the famous loop is hairpin-like structure or hairpin-like loop. This loop we will study in mole by. It is important. Next structure that we have is tertiary structure. Tertiary structure of proteins. It is generally the three-dimensional conformation of proteins that arises due to various interactions between the side chains of primary structure. It is generally the 3D conformation and the like what would be the 3D conformation of a protein. All that information is present inside the primary structure itself. कि कोई भी प्रोटीन कैसा वो 3D स्ट्रक्चर में एग्जिस्ट करेगा, उसकी सारी इंफॉर्मेशन उसके प्राइमरी स्ट्रक्चर में पहले से ही प्रेजेंट होती है. एंड द important point here is covalent and non covalent interactions जो 3D स्ट्रक्चर में प्रेजेंट होती है वो है. फर्स्ट वन इज हाइड्रोफोबिक इंटरेक्शन. It is major non covalent. This itself is important and this is asked. Next we have is electrostatic interaction, hydrogen bonds and van der Waals forces. Electrostatic, hydrogen bonds, van der Waals interactions, and the covalent bonds itself. And the most prominent covalent bonds in case of 3D structures, मैं जब 16 का बता रहा था तब भी बताया था कौन से होते हैं, डाइसल्फाइड ब्रिजेस। And only cysteine is unique amino acid that is involved in formation of disulfide bridges. Now there is a general question, मैंने वैसे बता दिया है इसका आंसर तुम्हें ऑलरेडी आज की क्लास में. There is a statement that says cytosolic proteins lack disulfide bonds while extracellular proteins they contain them. Why? I'm writing on the next slide. See, cytosolic proteins they lack disulfide bonds while extracellular proteins they consist of disulfide bonds. Why? Yes, somebody told the answer. Yes, cytosol has the reducing environment. Next structure of protein that we have is quaternary structure. And this structure generally involves the interaction of several polypeptide chains to form multimeric protein. And a single unit is known as protomer. So on basis of the polypeptide chain, they can be homomer or they can be heteromer. Okay. I said in quaternary structure, there are interaction of several polypeptide chains. There are several polypeptide chains that are involved and they form a multimeric protein, and the polypeptides can be same. If they are same, they will constitute the homomer. Means if A is the protomer, that is known as the single unit. So the homomer can be A4, A2. This is the example of homomer. And for heteromer, we can say A2, B2 structure means the protomers are different. And the example for quaternary structure is hemoglobin. It consists of two alpha subunits and two beta subunits. And in other words, we can say that hemoglobin, it is the dimer of alpha beta protomers. What it is it is dimer of alpha beta protomers. Is it clear? And in like heteromeric proteins, they can interact strong or weak with different subunits. For example, in case of hemoglobin, The alpha unit, it has stronger interaction with the beta subunit. Okay. Wait for a minute, I'm coming. Okay, what I have to repeat? Okay, I'll be telling Richa. Wait for a minute. Anuradha asked me to repeat something. What I have to repeat? So I'm like start. I'm repeating it from the start. In a quaternary structure, it involves several polypeptide chains, and these polypeptide chains forms the multimeric protein, and the single unit, it is known as the protomer. Based on the polypeptides, it can be divided into homomer if it consists all the same polypeptide chains. Here A4 and A2, the example of A4 somebody asked is beta galactosidase. And for the heteromer, I have given the example of hemoglobin. It consists of A2B2 structure, means 2 alpha and 2 beta subunits. It can be also deduced as dimer of alpha beta protomers. मीन्स दो अल्फा है तो अल्फा का डाइमर एंड दो बीटा है तो बीटा का डाइमर और सिंगल यूनिट को हम बोल रहे हैं प्रोटोन. इज इट क्लियर नाउ? This was all about amino acid proteins. Richa, there is like no such thing like I don't like recall any example of A2. I was giving general example कि ऐसा A2 possible होगा तो क्या होगा. Maybe you can Google it. But in our textbooks, like Leninger and Stryer, recommended for biochemistry, we have the hemoglobin only, and that is the example of heteromer. Are you guys having any doubt from amino acids and proteins? There, from this chapter, we have completed two parts. The first one was amino acids, and the second was structure of proteins. We can continue the metabolism from here only, or we can like do the metabolism of all biomolecules after completing their basic structure. Yes, I'll do that. Now there is a like small topic, solubility of proteins. जनरली जब हम डायलिसिस करते हैं तो उसमें हम पहले सोल्ट की कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऐड कर देते हैं. Adding salt concentration lead to decrease of solubility and formation of precipitate of protein. This whole process, it is known as salting out. And there is another term. Basically, this was asked. That is why I'm telling you. मेरे को ये याद है. And another term is salting in. Means at low salt concentration. इधर सोल्ट को हम ऐड कर रहे हैं तो सोल्ट कॉन्सेंट्रेशन इज बेसिकली हाई. एट लो salt concentration the solubility of protein is generally increased. I'm giving homework for you guys. See the binding curves for hemoglobin and myoglobin with oxygen. ये आपका होमवर्क है. So I can start the metabolism of protein here itself, या फिर सभी बायोमोलिक्यूल्स को एक बार खत्म कर लेते हैं उसके बाद उनका मेटाबॉलिज्म करते हैं. ये आपकी चॉइस होगी, अभी बता सकते हो. सिलेबस में दोनों चीजें हैं, मेटाबॉलिज्म भी है सबका. एक साथ ही करना है या बाद में करना है वो आप अभी बता दो चैट बॉक्स में. I'll go with majority. Okay, metabolism later. Metabolism first. I'll count later. अभी तुम लिखो सब चैट बॉक्स में जो जो तुम्हारे अकॉर्डिंग सही लगे. फ्रॉम माय ओपिनियन जो भी बायोमोलिक्यूल्स के स्ट्रक्चर एंड फंक्शन है वहां से मोस्टली क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. और मेटाबॉलिज्म पार्ट से they generally ask the basic terms, and like even the metabolism of nucleotide there are like no serious questions from many years, but from like metabolism of carbohydrates we have lot of questions. Okay, I'll count now. सबने अपना ओपिनियन लिख दिया. So everybody is like, we can do the biomolecules first, most of them. Okay. So from tomorrow, we will continue with carbohydrates. That's all for today. Thank you all. I have given the homework to see the curves of binding of hemoglobin and myoglobin with oxygen. Binding curves of hemoglobin and myoglobin with oxygen. This is a small assignment. Okay.